Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Now today I want to talk about something you guys have been waiting for, and that is my 5 things I hate about the Omega Seamaster. We're talking about the pre-ceramic James Bond wave dial version. Now before we get started, hate is a pretty strong word. I actually really love this watch, and I'm wearing it of course in honor of this video. So, hate is a strong word. These are more of 5 quirks that I personally would change or don't particularly love about the Seamaster. It's almost a perfect watch, but it's very hard to get everything right. So these are the 5 things I would change. Now, I got this watch just a little while ago, and I have to be honest with you, even though it's an iconic watch, it's not something that was really for me. But I got bit by the bug after talking about it quite a few times with TGV, watching some James Bond movies, and I got the opportunity to pick one up, and I absolutely jumped at it. You know what? I've been really happy with it ever since. But as I said, it's definitely not perfect. So, the first thing I would change about the Omega Seamaster is the crown. Now, I love the crown guards, the way it's integrated to the case, but I find the crown ever so slightly too small, which makes it a little bit too hard to grip in my opinion and screw down. Now, the Rolex crown, I think, is a little larger, a little easier, and it's easy to compare the Seamaster to the Rolex Submariner simply because they're the 2 top watches in its class, at least in popularity. So, I definitely wish the Omega crown was a little larger. The second thing I don't think is particularly great is the diver's extension. Now, let me get one thing straight. I think the bracelet is fantastic, and so is the clasp, but the diver's extension is nothing particularly special. It's one of those old-fashioned style where you just kind of click down on the bracelet and it extends a pre-given length. Now, this is meant for wetsuits, but the new diver's extensions, like on the Rolex Glide Lock clasp, or the little micro 3mm extension, is a lot more useful. Personally, I'm never going to go diving, and I've never even worn a wetsuit, so I'd love the diver's extension to be a little bit more of a micro adjustment style, so I could use it every day. Even though it's very practical for actual diving, and this is a dive watch, it's not something I can use. Now, this third thing is by far my biggest gripe, and it's something that seems to happen to all of these Seamasters over time, and it's starting to happen with mine with age. And that is the fading red secondhand tip. I love the tip of the Omega Seamaster secondhand, the red. I think it's a great contrast, but it seems over time most of them fade to a white color. Now mine, not quite white yet, it's more of an orange color, but it's definitely not as bold as it used to be. And I know with time it's gonna fade. Now, I love fading with most cases, I love patina, but in this case, I would prefer for it to remain red and keep that really cool contrast. It's a shame, but I know in the new Seamasters this won't happen, as fading is usually something that takes a long time, and when the company has a bunch of data, and the watch has been released for a few years, they correct it by using a different paint. But for now, nothing I can do about it. Omega did correct it in the new model, but it's happening to mine as it happens to most Seamasters of this era. So I really don't like the fading red secondhand. Number 4 is something that I've mentioned quite a few times as well, and that is the thinness. Now, a lot of people like this because it makes it very versatile, and it's actually this thin because it uses the ETA 2892 movement, which is more of an elegant movement, more elegant than the 2824 at least, and it makes it possible for this watch to be this thin. However, I think proportionally it's not quite right. I think dive watches are definitely allowed to be a little bit thicker, and I'd like for this one to be thicker as well. Now, it sits great on my wrist, and you guys know I have a larger wrist, so, this might not be a problem for everyone. As I said, people do like it, but I think considering it's a dive watch, a tool watch, and the size of the case, I think proportionally, as I said, it would look better if it was just a millimeter or 2 thicker. Number 5, of course, is the hands. I know a lot of people hate the sword hands, or a lot of people hate the skeleton hands. My watch has the skeleton hands, and I really don't dislike them. I quite like the skeleton hands, but I find them ever so slightly too short. They don't quite hit the minute markers on the outside of the dial. So in my opinion, it would look a little bit better if the hands were a tiny bit longer. Now, this is a personal pet peeve of mine, is hand length. You know, I complain about it on a lot of watches. Most people don't notice, most people don't like the style of the hand. That doesn't bother me, but I do wish they were a little longer. I bet a lot of people would think I'd put the helium escape valve in this video. Personally, I really like it. I think the non-symmetrical look gives it a bit of charm. It really doesn't bother me that much. Is it a feature I'll use? Absolutely not. But I think it's something that makes this watch quite unique. Anyway, guys, what do you think? Are there other parts of the Seamaster that bug you, or is there something that I mentioned that you completely disagree with? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, check out the description of this video for my Instagram account. That is Federico Talks Watches. Thank you so much for watching another video of Federico Talks Watches. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. That way you won't miss any more. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.